Welcome to Small Town Times. Today's podcast is an interview with Brannyn Hale of Green Vision Developments. They have a big project going on in the old Kenroc site, the brownfield off of Memorial Drive. They have a 62-unit development they're looking at, first phase, and I believe it's called Vision Park North. Interesting. It's been in the works for several years. Good to get to know this Mr. Hale, one of the young up-and-coming investor developers in town. Born and raised here, grad from Chippewa. He was an athlete in university, swimmer, and a runner in high school. His dad was a coach there. So, interesting interview. We did it. We recorded it at the conference room at the Block restaurant, another one of his developments. So, check it out. Enjoy. Thanks for all the advertising support for Back in the Bay magazine. The fall edition is about to come out. This is September 2025. Welcome to the Small Town Times studio at the Block House.
So I was born and raised in North Bay.
What year?
In 1986.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the year I came here.
Yeah, good year, eh?
Yeah, right on.
My dad was a teacher at Chippewa for his entire career. I think it was 25 years or so. And he was the cross-country running coach. I ran for my dad. I went to Laurentian Primary School, then Crothers, both of which are no longer schools, and then finished at Chippewa. And then I took a year before I went to university, and I swam out in Victoria. I was a competitive swimmer, so I was swimming alongside the national team.
As a runner in high school, though, OFSA?
Yeah, we won OFSA twice.
Okay.
One of my good friends at the time, Lucas McEnany, went on to be quite an established running career. He just, I think like 3 years ago, he was on the cover of Running World. He had won the Buffalo Marathon while pushing his son in a stroller.
Oh, right on.
So he was kind of the leader of our team.
Right.
So it was pretty remarkable. That was the first time in my dad's entire 25 years as a running coach that his team won OFSA.
Oh.
And 2 years in a row.
Oh, perfect.
So his son's on the team. That's pretty cool.
That's a dad's dream for sure.
Yeah. But then I went and pursued like a swimming career, and I went out west. And as an 18-year-old kid, I was fortunate enough to walk into the Jaguar Land Rover dealership and sell myself to be a car salesman.
Okay.
Yeah, and then so I was training and selling cars, and then I got offered a scholarship to Syracuse, and I also got offered athletic bursaries to go to Dalhousie in Halifax, and my dad convinced me to stay in Canada, get a real education.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I went to Halifax, and Halifax and I were kind of a match made in heaven. It's perfect.
Yeah, you look like you're from Halifax.
Yeah, well, I was there for 5 years.
Yeah.
So I went and did Bachelor of Commerce at Dalhousie. And
before you get into that, there's a local guy bringing in a lot of East Coast music talent. He teaches at Chippewa now. Have you seen any of that?
No.
You have to.
Please connect me with him.
I will connect you.
Because we do live music here every weekend.
Well, he's been doing the fundraisers. I wish I can remember his name off the bat, but we'll connect you because you'll like that stuff.
It's not Arthur Henry, is it?
No.
Okay.
Anyways, we'll get back to that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So Halifax for me was a place where I could not only get an education, I got a lot of really good lifelong friends from the city. East Coasters are extremely friendly and inviting. I played a lot of music there. I trained a lot. We did CIs. I had the provincial record for 4 or 5 years for one of my events. And
which one?
It's good. 200 freestyle.
200 freestyle.
Yeah.
Are you following that summer?
It's incredible what she's doing.
Yeah.
It's incredible.
What's her first name?
Summer McIntosh.
Yeah.
So good for the sport, good for the country. You know, it's a good sport to be a part of because you're not only with men, you're with women as well.
Yeah.
So you've got kind of a diverse team, which is something that's kind of unusual to a lot of sports, right?
Right.
A lot of my teammates become doctors, lawyers, professionals, accountants, that kind of thing. So you're surrounded by pretty remarkable people.
Yeah, for sure.
So I did my undergrad there. It's lots of live music, lots of good friends that, like I said, lifelong friends. Every time we go out and visit, it's like, here's the keys to my car, here's the keys to my home, like, welcome, It feels great. A good childhood friend of mine just moved out to PEI, so I can't wait to go visit him there. yeah, I moved back to my hometown. I always knew I was going to get into real estate development. Even when I was selling cars, I was making good money, driving high-end cars as an 18-year-old kid, but I wasn't satisfying that need to build and to create and solve problems. I was shaking hands and doing deals, and that wasn't really fulfilling for me. So when I did my undergrad, I knew kind of what I was going to apply it to. So that gave me a bit of a leg up compared to a lot of my peers that didn't really know what they were going to be doing yet. So, focused on finance courses and how to raise capital, that sort of thing, understand and analyze financial statements and that sort of thing. So when I graduated, I moved back to my hometown, North Bay, in 2010 and started my company called Vision Developments. And then the rest is history.
You got a big development going on the go now?
Yeah, huge development.
Tell me.
By a long shot. It's the biggest one I've been putting together. We've got a group of about 12 different partners, well-heeled in the business community in northeastern Ontario. It's a beautiful site that I saw an opportunity, but also saw the challenges with it. So it's the former Kenroc site it was an industrial building. They had a lot of different things on that site, and as a result, it's a brownfield, which has challenges to develop, especially a change of use from going from industrial to residential.
And so close to the lake.
Yeah, so we've been working quite diligently for the last, I want to say, 5 to 6 years on the record of site condition process with the Ministry of Environment, and we should be pretty fortunate to have such a diligent Ministry of Environment to make sure when we actually, turn a space into residential, it's safe for occupancy. So it's obviously onerous and very expensive, and that's why the property sat there vacant for the last 25 years. But I guess I'm the one that's crazy enough to take it on, and then
I was covering council for a little while in the last 20 years in Nugget. So this is the brownfield story has been well documented for sure. It's some people were betting it couldn't be done.
Oh, it can definitely be done, and the ministry is not there to prevent projects from happening.
It's how to do it.
It's there to actually make projects happen. So it's not a matter of if; it's just a matter of when.
Right.
So we're at the finish line now, which is why I'm excited to say we're finally going to be able to go to market, and we've got a world-class development that's about to happen right in our waterfront boundary, which is a big deal. So,
how can you describe it financially in the number of units you might have?
Well, we have 63 units. They range from 1 bedroom, 1 bath to 2 bedroom plus den. The construction costs right now are very high. So you need to be extremely efficient with your design in terms of every square foot of space needs to be well thought out. And when you look at your net saleable area to gross floor area, that ratio needs to be close to 80% to make the economics work. What we did in comparison with a lot of other projects, specifically in major urban markets, is we have a smaller unit count at 63, and we're very amenity rich. So a lot of the demographic of our buyer will be people downsizing, looking for a change of lifestyle, that don't want that burden of a big fancy home. Maybe it's on the lake or on airport, or maybe they want another location. They live in Timmins, and the biggest sacrifice you'd have to make to go to that smaller footprint would be your ability to host dinners for family and friends and that sort of thing. So that's why we focused a lot on the amenity space. So you still have that opportunity to have 20 of your friends and family over, and you close out this party room that has a walkout rooftop terrace with a barbecue on it, and it overlooks the waterfront, it overlooks the band shell, it overlooks the marina. It's absolutely spectacular. I can't wait to unveil those renderings of what we're going to build, and that's a game changer for people that are going to be downsizing to have access to that kind of a space. And it's also for those people that are looking to get in at the lowest cost, which is under $500,000. You now have access to a world-class amenity. With the wellness center, you could take a sauna and walk out to the rooftop terrace, and then take a seat down next to the fire pit that's right there overlooking the marina. And it's just, so we really focused on getting the right team that specialized in high density type of designs as well as construction. So we've got, in combination with our local architect that started with the project, who's now retired, we hired a guy who's won some awards in Toronto for his condo developments. His name's Martin Barron, and that's really all he does. That's it. And then we partnered up with a builder that's been putting up those high-rise buildings in Toronto, all those condo buildings, called GCL, to really understand how do we get our construction costs down to where they need to be to make the economics work. So if we get a design and then go out to tender and we realize, oh, we can't afford to build this or the price point's too high, well, that kills the project. So what GCL does is it's called a design assist process. And essentially, it's inviting the subcontractors that they're already working with and using their unit rates to guide the design to what we can afford to build. Because we know what the market could actually afford to pay for these condos. Now, how can we build it to hit those price points and make everything work? So that was quite the process. And I feel like I've learned a ton doing that whole process. And the team that we've got, they're incredible. Even our landscape architect, Janet Rosenberg's studio, she wanted to pass on the project when we first asked her to do it because it was just a parking lot. Yeah. And she's pretty well renowned and won some pretty big awards for her landscape designs. And I said, oh, it's so much more than that. It's a waterfront development. We've got the ability of potentially doing a private pier to a private island in front, which is something that nobody knows yet, but something that kind of got her interested in doing it. So what we did was, with the landscape design, we got rid of side entrance to the parking level to allow for more landscape space, so more amenity space outdoors. And then we focused on bicycles, active transportation, pedestrian flow, celebrating the natural landscape of northeastern Ontario. And I think we've captured that pretty well. So now you can really, if you live in that condo, you can have a bike space in the parking level that you can take the elevator down, jump on your bike, press the overhead door, bike out there, and you're on the bike path. Wow. Incredible, right?
Not too many places have that.
And then there's bike storage outdoors. So let's say your family's visiting and you want to go see, somebody who lives in the condo. Well, now you just pull your bike over to a secure storage. You meet them on the landscape terrace overlooking the beach, and it's perfect.
Wow.
Yeah. So we focused a lot on how to get pedestrians to flow down to the beach, an arrival plaza for one of the phases. So my goal here and the goal of our entire team is the early buyers of these condos are going to benefit from the second and third phases of this development because it's going to increase the value of their condo. That's the goal, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, I feel pretty fortunate.
That's a big dream.
Yeah, but it can be reality because we're doing it.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, it's remarkable. Can you tell me about some of the other partners in town? Would they recognize them, or are there people from around here?
Yeah, we've got different partners in all sorts of different sectors. I don't know if I should name them per se because I feel like I should ask.
Is it not public? No.
No, it's not public.
Oh, okay.
It's a private corporation.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, sure.
But I can say that they're very well-heeled people that believe in the community, that have invested in the community and believe in the project. Obviously, that's why they would invest in it. And we've got all sorts of different sectors covered, so we've got capacity from all different angles. Which is remarkable to see a community kind of band together and deliver on something that is really going to transform our waterfront.
I mean, we're sitting here at the Blockhouse, which was majorly renovated, right, and fixed up, and it's a beautiful sort of location.
And did you know that it's me that did that with other partners as well?
Yeah.
So where we're sitting right now, right here was a chute that we had a tractor parked beside the Thompson building, and then I would show up with my little 5-ton dump truck and drop fill right there, and then my partner Mark would take the tractor and shoot it down here, and then we had a little skid steer inside here, and we'd spread it out with this. We ended up moving 130 tons of fill that way to fill this place up.
No kidding.
For all the below grade plumbing and everything else. Yeah.
Hands-on development.
Yeah, well, I'm stuck at a desk now all the time, but that was when I was a little more active.
Well, it's looking like it's come together as far as design out there. Originally, it didn't seem like a great place to be in a band that had a little dance floor, but you've opened it up. Or?
We took that wall down. Yeah. So we didn't intend on actually owning this restaurant. We intended on supporting it as a silent partner to a certain degree. But based on circumstance and what kind of unfolded, we ended up being the only owners of it, the group of owners of this building, and now we're a lot more active in it.
Okay.
So we're making a lot of these changes because originally the concept was more of a fine dining kind of establishment, which I don't think we have the population base, and I don't think most people in North Bay are really looking for that kind of an atmosphere. So what we're doing is we're focusing a lot more on the public house side of things. So, show up with your family, show up in flip-flops, live music from local artists every weekend, support all sorts of different levels of our community here. So, I was sitting here last week or 2 weeks with the Community in Bloom judges talking about the different things that are going on here. And I mentioned because the one was a landscape architect herself, and I mentioned Janet Rosenberg was on our condo development. She was blown away.
Oh, wow.
She's like, I know Janet so well. She does incredible work. I'm like, I convinced her to come up and do our project. And that's really the story I have to tell people is it wasn't easy to get builders and designers to do a project in North Bay. I had to convince them that it was more than just a condo building.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. And because it has the ability to transform our community, that's what gets them excited.
No kidding.
Yeah.
I was wondering, I thought I guess there's a lot going on. They can pick and choose.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Janet apparently turned down some project in the Bridle Path in Toronto, but yet she took ours.
Oh.
Yeah.
So that says something.
Yeah, so I can't wait to unveil this. Even just like simple things like a sidewalk. A sidewalk, it's concrete, and then you've got these expansion lines along the way. Well, they took it one step further to say, okay, look at the fractured rock and the Canadian Shield in the north. How can we mimic that in the concrete sidewalks? And all it is different angles on those expansion joints. So from a constructability standpoint, it's not that more complicated. It's not different materials.
Just not a straight line.
Not a straight line.
Yeah.
Simple, but effective in creating something unique, a different identity. So what we're really trying to do with that project is celebrate the region, celebrate nature, and celebrate active lifestyle, right?
Right.
So
that's the place for it.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, I'm pretty excited about it.
And not far from the downtown.
Which is a lot of what I'm about.
Yeah.
So when I started Green Vision Developments, it was to kind of reduce urban sprawl and focus on urban renewal.
Right.
So buy these old buildings that clearly have been neglected for a long time, and then bring them back to life, right?
Yeah.
So when I was doing the Opera Bakery, that was the first commercial building we did, and the previous owner hadn't stepped foot upstairs in 7 years. There was one working toilet in the entire building, and you could tell this place had not seen any renovation in 60 years easily. It was originally built in 1894, so there's some cool details when we pulled the walls down, and we found some interesting things. I gave them to Pat Daigle.
Oh yeah.
Because that's what she does.
Yeah.
But then we transformed it. We have 3 one-bedroom apartments up there. They're very nice one-bedroom apartments, and then obviously it's the Opera Bakery Cafe. And I remember that kind of aha moment was when the first Christmas walk happened when the Opera Bakery had just opened. They had a string band up front. So live music there. It was absolutely filled with people eating popcorn, so it was smelling good. It was live music. Everybody was happy, excited. And I'm like, this is rewarding. This is fulfilling. Yeah, it's a lot of hard work, and I've got some pictures of some of the laborers just covered in black soot from doing all the demo and stuff. But it's restored, and it's vibrant again. And then when we were doing that reno, this building burnt down.
Yeah.
I did not think that I would be buying this building with anybody else at that time. I was just thinking, well, that's a big loss, right? And then when the opportunity was kind of pushed on me.
I took pictures the day it was burning down.
Oh, it's crazy. I've got some pretty wild ones. I'd love to actually get them framed and hang them around here to give people an idea. Like, this was a giant hole in the ground.
Yeah.
When you walked in this building, it was just rubble, hole in the ground. The entire second floor was completely burnt down.
Yep.
They only contained it to the third floor was saved. That was it. So it was quite the project to take on, but I think that's kind of my thing. Yeah. Take on the hard ones.
Well, you sound just like me, except when I clean out a shed, I feel that way. Or if I build a sauna, right? I'm a little bit smaller scale.
Just walk into a 25,000 square foot burnt down building. How do we deal with this one?
Well, that's cool. Like,
and to give you an idea,
and you're young.
Yeah,
right?
so
you're getting a lot of experience.
And to give you an idea of the types of things we'd have to do to make it cost effective to do this, is the first engineer we hired, structural engineer we hired to restore this building. His plan was to build an entirely new structure within the existing structure. And it's like, okay, well, that makes no financial sense. We can't afford to do that. How on earth would we ever get our money out, right? So then I found another engineer And we decided, okay, let's test the structural integrity of the steel beams that hold up the floors. So we tested them, and it was good, but they have a sag in them. So, okay, we have a sag that doesn't meet code. How do we deal with that? Oh, well, maybe we could flip the beams, and these beams are like 30 feet wide and 2 feet tall and weigh thousands of pounds. It's no chance.
Two guys.
No chance. Yeah. It's like, why don't we reduce the span of the beams so that we don't have that much deflection in them anymore, and we meet code that way? Yeah. Oh, there we go. Yeah. Now we're talking. Right? So that's why it takes so long to do these types of projects.
That's exactly how I build.
Yeah.
Well, that's wild.
Yeah.
I do newsy type stuff too, so I have to ask. You've got this experience here, and now how can the city make it easier for someone like you to operate?
Oh,
that's close to my heart.
Yeah, that's a tough question. I do have to say, for the most part, the city's quite receptive. I don't know if it's because I'm a little bit more aggressive than the average permit pulling person, or a little bit more detailed in the plans that I submit as the building owner. But I think the requirement to have architects and engineers needs to be lightened up a little bit. Because once you get architects and engineers involved, it's quite apparent that quickly it becomes unaffordable to do a renovation. And I don't know if that's just because of the way the whole system works, but if we could streamline the process to allow building owners to fix up their buildings without having to make a major substantial renovation. For example, this building here, because it's a substantial renovation on this part of the building, we need to be fully accessible. And we need to comply with building code. Well, it already exists and it doesn't comply with building code. So now we're kind of picking and choosing what things do comply, what things don't comply, and the accessibility component itself means we have to have an elevator for a 3-story building. We have to have fully auto-operating doors, accessible washrooms on every floor. You start adding up those costs and it's hundreds of thousands of dollars. So then once you start doing the math backwards to understand what you can realize in rent, it becomes cost prohibitive. The only reason we were able to do this is we did a lot ourselves, right? If we were to hire architects and engineers and subcontractors and construction managers, it's pretty easy. You're going to be like $6 or $7 million, and then you start doing the back math to see when can we recoup. It's a no-go. Yeah. But because we managed a lot of it ourselves, we did stage permits, lots of different permits, and to that point, city staff were actually willing to work with us on that because they realize, this is a heritage building and we'd love to see it restored. So I want to say we've probably had 8 to 10 different permits pulled out on this building over the years. We still have one open. They're just finishing the elevator right now, which has been a real challenge to finish. But that's probably it, is the requirement to have architects and engineers involved in these smaller commercial buildings that they don't comply. Right?
I wrote about that once. It was about not over regulation, but it was over credentials for regulation. It was just the requirement for the fancy ring stamp, and the costs that are associated with that, and the way they charge fees, by percentage, and so they gain from those decisions. And I always thought that's my own personal belief. I'm not going to drag you into that, but I find that's where the exponential increase really drives inflation.
Absolutely, and the construction costs, right? So we have this housing crisis right now, and everybody's, why can't we build more housing? Well, our construction costs are too high. If I'm going to build you a single family home, you better have $1 million. Yeah, that's what it's going to cost, right? Yeah. So we really need to kind of rethink the way our construction industry works, and I think there's a lot of really smart people working behind the scenes, and there's some good government incentives to do prefabricated homes. We have a skilled labor shortage, so that's driving the price up. There's a lot of different constraints that are all contributing to the cost of construction. So I think we're in a unique position here in North Bay in terms of our land values not being ridiculous like they are in other urban markets.
So it makes it accessible to dream.
Yeah, the challenge I think is it's not an overly competitive market in terms of construction subcontractors. With a not that competitive market, you can pretty much charge what you need to charge to not be extremely good at what you do. With major markets, to be successful, you have to be extremely efficient because you're bidding against a lot of people. Here, the bid list isn't that huge.
And they can only handle so much work. So
yeah, they only have so much capacity.
You're getting quotes that sort of factor that in.
Yeah, okay. So that's why we've done a tremendous amount of work really driving home our average price for these condos, because it needs to be receptive to the market, right? It can't be like, oh yeah, it's $1 million starting, right? That just kind of kills who can actually live there.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah. It's interesting. So you know the demographics of this city better than I do, but I've been trying to keep track. 60% over 40.
Yeah.
Is that pretty close?
Yeah.
And aging every day.
Yeah. So what I see a lot of are people that want to buy a condo right now, and they might not necessarily want to move into it right away, but they want it there for the option when they're ready to downsize.
Yeah.
And what I think for some of these parents that might consider moving into a condo is like, thank you as a child for dealing with all your stuff.
Yeah.
Before I have to deal with it,
yes.
right?
Yeah.
You got a 4,000 square foot home filled with things, and now you're going to move down to a 1,000-foot condo. You're going to have to get rid of some stuff, right? But that's also
why you see all these storage places popping up everywhere.
Yeah, exactly.
That's good business to be in. Are
the
you in that
metrics
business?
No, the metrics work well for that. I don't think it's exciting enough for me to be
Well,
honest.
it definitely isn't exciting,
It's
but
pretty boring.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Build a whole bunch of huts. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I'm curious to see and eager to see the take up of that demographic, because you can do all your feasibility studies and market analysis, and you can do all that paperwork. But the reality is, let's see what happens.
Well, there's some global friction going on right now as far as the economy goes. It has people second guessing their own plans, right?
Yeah.
Or hurrying them up.
Yeah.
As well, right? Because when you have people that are adverse to 35% tariffs, right? It's not that affects everybody. It's only 15% of the products, but big numbers for people who work, which affect communities.
Oh,
all these things.
Yeah,
right?
It's a ripple effect for sure.
Yeah. Have you felt that in the last little while?
I haven't personally felt it, and I think the demographics of our buyers for this project aren't really that affected.
Insulated a little bit?
Yeah, I think our market's pretty insulated. When you look at the fluctuations in major urban centers, like Ottawa, Toronto, Vancouver, and all that, and then you look at the market of North Bay is pretty baseline. It doesn't fluctuate like crazy, and we're pretty insulated. A lot of people that choose to live here have chosen to live here. They didn't follow a career because it's hard to get a good job here. Yeah,
you have to be willing to take the hometown discount.
Exactly. And you know what? From my perspective, lifestyle is more important than how much you're.
You can't
buy
a lake.
Yeah, a freshwater lake
Clean
that you can swim in.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot of opportunity here.
Oh, there is for sure. That's why I chose to live here. That's why a lot of people choose.
I think a lot of people do, and a lot of people that I went to high school with are looking for a way to get back here.
Great.
Working remotely became a big thing during COVID, right?
Yeah.
It's so a
Open
lot of
people's
people,
eyes to the possibilities.
We could live back there and have a different lifestyle, and not be stuck in traffic. I was down Toronto last week, and I got stuck on Friday morning heading north. Yeah. And all the way from Toronto, even north of Barrie, was stop and go. And I'm like, oh, this is painful.
I know I have to head down there for my third trip in 6 weeks, and I'm not happy about it, because that'd be three trips more than I took in the last 2 years.
I don't envy you.
Well, it's going to be a quick trip.
Okay,
back
good.
Good. No, I think, I'm not sure if everybody's like myself, but when I talk to people that are on the treadmill, chasing careers and money that pays for and everything that they seem to need, but it's not baked. The lifestyle, right? I asked them, how many hours do you actually spend on the highway, and how many hours do you work just to be where you are?
Yeah.
And do some math.
Yeah.
Right? Especially if you're thinking about having a family or wanting to have hobbies and other pursuits.
Well, and just going outside and being close to nature.
Yeah.
Like, there is so much healing that can be done in nature.
Yeah.
Whether it's, obviously mental health is a big issue right now.
Yeah.
And I feel like if people just spent more time in nature and had more of a sense of purpose in what they do.
What do you do in your spare time?
I go for mountain bikes. I take the kids swimming.
Are you with the North Bay Mountain Bike Association?
No, I don't have
nice
much
trails
time.
on the towers.
I've been on those trails. They're absolutely spectacular. But I have 3 little kids.
What ages?
I have a 1-year-old. He'll be 4 on August 23rd. Yeah. And then a 7-year-old.
Wow.
So yeah, it's like on my free time.
Mine's 27.
Yeah.
So I know what you're going to come up against, man.
He can wipe his own bum, right?
Well, sometimes I'd like to kick it, but yeah, no, he's a 6'2", 190 and a trained killer, so I don't joke about those things anymore.
He's in the military or what?
No, he's an MMA fighter.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
He's in Montreal.
Your choice? You told him to go pursue that?
I didn't tell him to go pursue. Actually,
I'm messing with you now.
Oh, well, I tried to get him into it when he was a teenager because it was good for me when I got into boxing. It helped me find my security level as far as things went, and I felt more confident. So I've wanted him to understand that, but he couldn't at the time. He was involved with a lot of sports. He played university football for a little while, but he realized through watching me and all my other friends sort of just get ground down doing our stuff, that's not what he wanted to do for his life.
Fair.
He wanted to chase a dream, and his dream was to be in the UFC or be a professional fighter. And so,
is he close, or is he actually doing it?
He's doing it. Well, he just had a fight. Didn't work out the way he wanted it to, but he was looking really good. Came after shoulder surgery, but he's got another match set up for September 6th in Montreal, and another one in October, and he's chasing it. He's at the best club, TriStar.
Well, and I think a lot of people...
He's paying the price to do what he wants to do.
And I think a lot of people struggle with that in terms of, if you're thinking about your bucket list and, you've always perceived risk, I'm not a risk taker, I'm not a risk taker. It's like, yeah, but what if you did take a risk? What if you went for what you wanted to do, right? Mm-hmm. And if it didn't work out, so be it. Yeah. But at least you tried it. Yeah. Right?
He's doing what we all would have done had we not done what we did that was safe.
Right.
Right? Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. And it's... this isn't an insecure thing that you're, not a secure thing that you're doing. You're risking a lot, right?
Absolutely.
You're putting a lot into it.
Everything I've done, I go all in on.
Yeah.
And most entrepreneurs have that in them, right? Yeah. And it's just a natural thing. So what I find remarkable in the business community locally and in northeastern Ontario is once a fellow entrepreneur that's maybe done well for themselves sees somebody young that's doing the same sort of things that they were trying to do when they were that age, there's this kind of this desire to be a part of that. Let me support you. I love what you're doing. I would have done it this way. Mm-hmm. This is my experience. And now I've got all these mentors. Yeah. So yeah, sure, investors can put their money in, but it's not the money that's really that valuable. It's their experience, their guidance, their mentorship, their ability to just take up the phone and you're struggling with a potential challenge or a hurdle or an obstacle, and they give you their 2 cents. Yeah. And they want to see you successful. So it's like, now we're a team. Yeah. Now we've got the resources to actually accomplish what I set out to accomplish here. And that's
but it has a chance.
It has a chance, exactly. Yeah. And if you're resilient and you persevere, that's when things start opening up. Like the opportunities that keep coming my way, I have to turn away right now. I'm still building.
You're not done this one yet.
No, no.
That's the risk, eh?
It's going to take a lot of time, right? But we'll go to market towards the end of this month.
Towards the end of the month?
Yeah, we'll go to market towards the end of the month. We've already got a lot of friends and family that are going to be buying units. Mm-hmm. I'm hopeful that there's enough that people can actually jump on board. I wouldn't like to be in the position where we go to market and then all of a sudden friends and family buy up everything, and then if you're not part of that group, you don't get the opportunity. And that's why we have 3 phases. Okay. So if we sell out really quickly and clearly there's a wait list for building number 2, maybe we'll jump on building number 2 right away. Right. So yeah, it's an exciting time because we've been working on it for like 6 years.
Wow.
So it's a lot.
It's going to be probably a couple more years before.
Be 2 years. The construction schedule will run anywhere between 18 and 22 months. Okay. And it's all dependent on our pre-sales. So if we sell what we need to sell, which is about 45 units, we will go, and if we sell that before, let's say, Christmas or the first quarter of next year, we might be able to get a shovel in the ground in the spring. depending on lots of different factors. And then from that point on, it would be an 18 to 22 month construction schedule. So occupancy would be the fall of 2027.
Serious question here. I hear a lot of people that prepaid and bought down in Toronto are regretting it, and they're having problems, and it was probably because of the timing when they bought and the cost now, and etc. What saves, what protects somebody? What kind of system do you have that protects somebody in case something goes south on this project?
So it's highly regulated.
Yeah.
We have Tarion, the new home warranty provider, which we're licensed Tarion vendors and builders. And then our legal disclosures and our agreement of purchase and sale all outlines kind of there's a cooling off period. So let's say you want to buy a condo, you come into the presentation gallery and you're like, okay, I'd like a 2-bedroom, preferably on the water. We do a worksheet with you. It lays out the deposit structure, and you say, okay, I'm good. I want to put my $5,000 down. And then I stamp that and say, that's going to be held in trust by our lawyers. You have a 10-day cooling off period.
Yeah.
Within that 10 days, you can call them and say, you know what, change of plans, or the finances aren't working out or whatever, and then fully refunded, you're good to back out of the deal. But after that 10-day period, you're locked into that agreement. Yeah. And there are very few ways you can get out, because now we are making serious financial commitments to deliver this on you.
Yeah.
Right? For everybody.
What if it takes longer to build than they hoped?
It's all written down in the disclosures and the agreement of purchase and sale. But you don't have a crystal ball, so you do your best with all the legal declarations and all that, where it lays out, in this situation this is what happens and whatnot. And the deposit structure is spread out, so you're responsible for 5% of the purchase price of your condo in the first 30 days. So you put your $5,000 down, and then within 30 days you've got to make up the remainder of that 5%. And then you're due for another 2.5% in 180 days. And then another 180 days, you do another 2.5%, and it kind of follows that right up until occupancy, where you finally put your last 5% down. And that's all listed on the worksheet, and that's all very well communicated, so you know what your obligations are as a purchaser. Yeah.
I guess if I was a purchaser, I'd make sure I'd have a plan B.
Yeah.
Because if you're downsizing, you're selling, that time frame you can't control, and you need the, I'm not as rich as others, I'd probably need the equity to complete the contract. So
the good thing would be, if you're going to sell your house, you're not going to list it 2 years ahead of time. Yeah. Right?
Obviously.
Construction's clearly going to start.
Yeah.
And then so Tarion has this whole process, and there's a Bulletin 19 to follow, and it's very systematic. There are we have requirements.
What's the last trade that goes into a building before? Is it the rug guys, or is it the?
It'll be your millwork, your finishing.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
you can wait till then to sell.
Baseball. Yeah, exactly.
That's what I'm looking.
And that's my point, right? So you have a pretty good indication of when you're going to be getting occupancy, because construction's far enough along.
Right.
We've done our pre-delivery inspection. You know when you're going to be able to move in, and you probably want to sell your house, 2 months in advance, not 2 years in advance.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. I think that's the big difference. And then a lot of people, like I said, are looking at buying a condo and then just maybe renting it out until they're ready to move into it.
Right. Yeah.
Because the opportunity is only going to be there once, right? Unless somebody lists it down the road, right?
There's a lot of people thinking about this, so this is good information for anybody, no matter where they are.
For sure.
As far as that,
And we'll do an official opening, and we'll do an official launch, and we'll answer lots of questions. We have a physical location in the Kennedy building where you can come pick your finished packages. You can try out some of the features and see some of the benefits of the suites. One of the biggest things we're doing, which is, I think, a game changer in terms of outdoor space for condos, is we've got this system called Lumon, and it's a retractable glass panel system. So on your balcony, which are fairly large in condo world, you can close it right off with retractable glass on top of your railing. We've got a full-size demonstration in the presentation gallery, so that if it's raining, it's windy, or there's shad flies, or whatever adverse weather conditions you have, you can close it right off, but you can still go outside. But if it's a beautiful day, you can open it right up. And that allows you to keep your furniture out there 24/7, and it becomes a 3-season outdoor room.
That's a nice option.
Yeah.
You mentioned the Kennedy building. Is Tony Lehman involved?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's a selling point. Yeah, for sure. He's well respected.
Tony and I have become good friends.
Yeah.
And we've been working together for the last, I want to say, 4 years.
Mm-hmm.
I work with his daughter Katie on the DIA as well. We just had a board meeting this morning talking about all sorts of good things that are happening
cool.
downtown. I chair the safety committee there.
Oh, okay.
So working with the police chief, Daryl, getting the satellite office down here and doing all sorts of good things. And I think our community really needs to know how vibrant our downtown's becoming.
Yeah.
And then it's perfectly safe. There's no concerns. When you look at the statistics, there's social disorder because part of our community members are suffering from mental health.
Yeah.
Part of our community members have homelessness.
Yeah.
It doesn't mean they're bad people. It doesn't mean they're criminals. Some of them are, but there's also people that are housed that are criminals.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right? So just because they're in front of us doesn't mean they're bad people. And I'd say I deal with a lot of them in person, and I'd say 95% of them are respectful. It's the 5% that gives them a bad name. But they're part of our community.
Yeah. I think I've been around here for a bit. Downtown has partly, it's got these major issues. There's real issues, but I think it has a communication problem.
It does.
Yeah, it needs to, because it's always one way or the other. It's like they get in the news when they're frustrated.
Right.
And echoing the frustration. But I think possibly better communication would be just a consistent sort of showing of the good things that are going on. Just consistent in between the news cycles.
That's absolutely what needs to happen, is that communication piece needs to be focused on celebrating all the good of downtown, because we're so focused on disruption and social disorder and that sort of thing.
And focusing on things that are there to improve the things that are real serious issues. So a little bit more about the satellite office and the police work and what they have to do. And if you can promote just the effort that's taking place, and that there is a change, there is improvements.
And the buy-in from all the social services, as well as the police and the city, and the collaboration that's actually happening behind closed doors that people don't realize.
That needs to be opened up a little bit.
I was sitting here, a couple weeks ago with the communities in Bloom judges explaining kind of why this is true collaboration, in the sense that we're having the hard conversations, we're throwing that stinky sock on the table, and we're arguing. And it's getting lively. Yeah. That's real collaboration. If everybody's either patting themselves on the back or not agreeing to meet, that's not collaboration. That's just going through the motions, right? So I'm seeing shared resources in terms of the police leaning on the peer outreach team, the POST, peer outreach support team, and then vice versa. As well as, I know in this situation, I'm going to call POST because it's not a good use of police resources. There's no crime here, but there's some social disorder. Somebody's in distress, right? But then, the odd time, you've got to call the police. And then they respond quickly. But if you're constantly calling them for things that aren't a police matter, it's not the right avenue. And then you get Canadian mental health into the mix. You get DSAB into the mix. We start talking about what our expectations are as a community, as a DIA. We do not want another social services right in the downtown, because we're going to create this magnet effect. And that's why they're all here. So we need to spread it out a little bit. And those conversations are not only happening, they're being received. And they're being actually thought through because we've been so vocal on it. So I think there's a lot of good things happening here.
So just to wrap up, excellent summer, big block party coming, the 23rd. There's a threes basketball tournament, a few other things still left in the summer. You got the Blues stuff that the Capitol Center does. There's going to be a lot of stuff left. The summer's not quite over, even though the back to school stuff's being advertised. One last thing, is there anything that we haven't talked about that you feel people need to know going into the next little month or two in the fall?
I think just come downtown.
Yeah.
See what our community has. I mean, it's incredible. If you haven't been to the splash pad and the pump track and the basketball court and the playground.
I was at the Threes the other night. They were having their finals, and I understand everything that's going on, but unless you're there watching it, you just sort of see like, okay, every court in the beach volleyball's happening.
Yeah.
You got kids whizzing by you on the track or whatever it is.
Yeah, the pump track.
The basketball course, there's pickup basketball going on, and I'm looking at the kids that are playing, and these are some of the kids that people are, they look like they're the ones that you might be afraid of.
Yeah, they're worried about.
Yeah, but there they are. They're getting along. There's factions. You can tell that some of them are a little rougher than others, but they're playing basketball and getting along. And there's police around. There's everything, right?
And this is kudos to the city.
Yeah.
For recognizing that this is a smart place to invest money.
Yeah.
And also recognizing that a lot of community members need some sort of an outlet. Right? Mm-hmm. So if I can...
just hearing the kids laugh at the splash pads,
it's amazing.
And you're about 1,000 feet away, and it seems to be working. It's bringing people.
Exactly, and we have an incredible waterfront and downtown.
Yeah.
So I think it's a real tragedy if people don't come down here because of the disruptive nature of news.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Because so I think that's the last piece I want to say.
Yeah, well, don't let the fear stop you, and come check it out yourself. It's sort of self-generated. People are. I tell some of my friends that say they don't want to come down here. I said, well, you're just making an excuse to stay in your house. That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's lots of good case examples of situations in which, let's say a community park gets overrun with drug dealing, prostitution, all those sorts of things. The way to make that a community park again is by using it.
Yeah.
Showing up. They don't want to be doing drug deals and turning tricks next to a family.
No.
Right?
No.
So if you actually show up, that's the only thing you
bring
have
life
to do.
To a space.
That's it.
Yeah.
That's it. And I think we had a few challenges from 2 years of COVID, then 2 years of construction, and now that that's all done, that's why we're starting to see this vibrancy come back.
Yeah.
And I think it's really exciting to be a part of. Yeah.
Right on. Yeah. Well, thanks. Good to know you.
Yeah,
Meet
likewise.
You. Yeah. I like what you guys got going on here, and your plans for the condos are going to really make a big difference.
Yeah.
On the waterfront.
One of the main things I want people to understand is I'm not a stereotypical developer in the sense that I'm going to take this raw land, I'm going to clear cut it, and I'm going to put up the cheapest houses I could possibly put up, charge a fortune, and not care about the community or the neighborhood that I've put that in. I would live in any development that I've done. I would work in any development I've done, and what I want to do with this Vision Park development is enhance the community, enhance the public spaces, and improve everything. So I think that's the biggest thing.
Cool.
Yeah.
Well, right on. Well, good luck to you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.